Pre-Algebra Lesson 7-4, Write an equation. Many scientists write and use equations and formulas every day. Banks use equations to calculate interest and loan information. Statisticians use equations to find sports and population statistics. Doctors use equations to calculate the correct doses of medicines. So it's good that we understand how to use an equation, but it's also important that we understand how to write an equation, especially from a word problem. So that is our goal today, to be able to write an equation from a word problem. Let's look at this first example. A moving van rents for $29.95 a day, plus 12 cents a mile. Ms. Smith's bill for a 2-day rental was $70.46. How many miles did she drive? Now, with any word problem, after we've read the problem, sometimes more than once, the next thing we should do is we should define our variables. We should determine what it is we're looking for and make sure we can solve our variable. So, since they asked me how many miles did she drive, then I'm going to know that number of miles driven is what I need to be looking for. So I'm going to let m equal the number of miles driven. Okay, so I'm going to let m number of miles. Mrs. Smith drove the van. Okay? We know that she drove the van, it says for $29.95 a day plus 12 cents a mile. Her bill for a 2-day rental was $70.46. So 2 days, okay, 2 days multiplied by the $29.95 per day plus her mileage, okay, plus the mileage driven, has to equal her total bill. That's what we know. So let's transform that into an equation. So 2 days times $29.95 a day plus 12 cents a mile times the number of miles, which we don't know, so we'll call that m because that's what we define our variable is, has to equal the entire bill, which was $70.46. So we have the cost for just renting the truck plus the cost of mileage has to equal the total cost. Well, $29.95 times 2 is $59.90. So $59.90 plus 0.12 m equals $70.46. So let's solve this equation. So to get m all by itself, I will need to subtract $59.90 from both sides of the equation. These will cancel out on the left hand, and I'm left with 0.12 m. And $70.46 minus $59.90 is $10.56. To solve this, I will divide by 0.12 on both sides. This is where a calculator is very handy. Doing these long division problems is not very much fun. So we know that m equals 88, and that stands for the number of miles, because that's what our defined variable was, m equals the number of miles. So the question said, how many miles did she drive? So she had to have driven 88 miles. She drove 88 miles. So what am I looking for if you're solving this type of problem? I'm looking for several things. I'm looking for the defining of your variable. I expect you to define your variable. I expect you to write an equation like this. I expect you to solve the equation. That would be all this stuff down in the middle. And I expect your answer here. And then I expect your answer as a complete sentence. Okay, so you have to define your variables, you have to write your equations, you have to solve your equations, and then you have to answer your equation so that anybody would understand what you were talking about. Next example. Tim's overtime pay, Tim's $15 overtime pay, is $3 less than twice his regular pay. Find his regular pay. Okay, so we're looking for his regular pay. So that's what we're going to be looking for, his regular pay. So I'm going to let that be my variable. I'm going to let x equal regular pay, or whatever variable I want. So Tim's $15 overtime pay. Let's highlight that a second. That is exactly what it says it is. It's $15. So I'm just going to come down here. I'm going to say that's 15. Is means equals 3 less than twice his regular pay. So we have 3 less than twice his regular pay. Lots and lots of highlighted things here. So if I was going to do that, 3 less than means something else has to come first. So with 3 less than, I'm going to put it down over here, and that's going to be minus 3. Twice his overtime pay is going to go over here, because that has to come first. Right? Excuse me, twice his regular pay, not twice his overtime pay. So twice his regular pay, and his regular pay is x, so that's going to be 2x. So we have this big drawn long out equation. 15 equals 2x minus 3. So I can rewrite that nice and shorter. 15 equals 2x minus 3. Where all those parts of the equation came from is why I can use all these highlighted colors. Is $15 of overtime pay means 15 equals $3 less than, which means something else had to come first, twice his regular pay. Well, his regular pay is x. Twice that would be 2x. So 15 equals 2x minus 3. Now we just need to solve the equation. So add 3 to both sides of the equation. And we will get 18 equals 2x. Divide by 2. X equals 9. So his regular pay is $9 per hour, because that's what we were asked to find, and our variable was defined as his regular pay. So his regular pay, if I don't tell, Tim's regular pay is $9 per hour. It's not hard to translate into a word problem into an equation if you break it up step by step and piece by piece. Sandy added 16 stamps to her collection and then gave half of her stamps to her sister. Then she had 29 stamps. How many stamps did she start with? So let's let x equal the number of stamps she started with. X equals the number of stamps started with. So there we go. X is going to equal the number of stamps she started with. What she started with and what she added, then what she gave to her sister equals how many she has left. Okay, that probably doesn't make too much sense. So let's look at it again. She added 16 stamps to her collection and then gave half her stamps to her sister. Then she had 29 stamps. So her start plus what she added she added some stamps to her collection. Okay. Then she gave half to her sister. Then she gave half to her sister. Then she had 29 stamps. Okay. So what added, then given to sister, then given away, equals what is left. And that might be a little confusing, so let's just break this up step by step. And she started with 16 stamps. Okay, so she started with 16 stamps. Actually, what she started with, we don't know. Sorry, I almost messed that up, because what she started with is what we're looking for, which would be right here. So let's set x what she started with, so start is going to be x. Then she added 16 stamps to her collection. After that, she then gave half of her stamps to her sister after she added the 16. So here, we need to say that somehow that she gave half of it to her sister, so we have to divide that by 2 or multiply it by 1/2, the way it works. So the number she started with, then she added 16, then she gave half of them to her sister, and when she ended up, she had 29. So there's our equation. 1/2 parentheses x plus 16 equals 29. Now we can solve this. Distribute the 1/2 through. 1/2 times x is 1/2 x. 1/2 times 16, well, half of 16 is 8, or 16 over 2, which is 8. That's going to equal 29. Subtract 8 from both sides of the equation. 1/2 of x equals 21. Multiply both sides by 2 to get rid of the fraction. These all cancel out, leaving me with x equals 42. So the number of stamps we started with was 42. Add 42 stamps. Of course, we started with 42 stamps. I don't care how you write it. Let's look at our last one. 3/4 of the members of the tennis club signed up in advance for a tournament. On the day of the tournament, 9 more entered, making a total of 84. How many members did the tennis club have? Okay, so we're looking for the number of members. So let's let n equal number of members. Let's look at our equation. 3/4 of the members signed up in advance for a tournament. Okay, so 3/4 of the members on the day of the tournament, 9 more people entered, making a total of 84. So 3/4 of the members plus 9 more equal the total for the tournament. Okay, that's basically what we're looking for. So 3/4 of the members, since we do not know how many members we had, that becomes 3/4 m, plus 9 more people entered on the day of the event, and that brought the grand total up to 84. So there's our equation. 3/4 m plus 9 equals 84. Multiply both sides of this equation. Wait, don't multiply. We have to undo addition or subtraction first. So I should subtract the 9 first. So now I have 3/4 m equals 84 minus 9 is 75. Now I need to multiply by the reciprocal, so I need to multiply by this. 3 over 4, 4 over 3. I need to multiply by 4 over 3 here. That's 75 over 1 and multiply it by 4 over 3. These will all cancel out, leaving me with n. I know that 75 is divisible by 3 because 7 and 5 is 12, and 12 is divisible by 3. 75 divided by 3 is 25. And 25 times 4 is 100. So they had a total of 100 members. Word problems are not difficult if you break them into manageable pieces. Don't get overwhelmed by the words, and don't give up really easily. Try something. If it doesn't work, try something else. In the day of Google, you've got to learn that you can't Google all the answers to everything, and hard work does give you good answers.